Okay, in this video, I'm going to help you guys out a little bit with problem 3. I'm not going to do a lot of it for you because I think it's pretty easy and you'll be able to find these answers in your chapter pretty quickly. But I did want to point out a couple of the things here. So what they're showing you in problem 3 is a graph. And they're asking you to identify 3 of these curves, curve 1, 2, and 3 on the graph. And then they're asking you some questions about curve 1. Now, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to find these in the book if you don't know this already. But I did want to talk a little bit about what they're asking in C, D, and E here. So, well, first let me just back up. For part B, it's saying explain why curve 1 initially goes down and then goes up, and then so curve 1 is going to initially decrease in terms of the price or cost, and then it's going to go up most of its life. It is upward sloping. So what's going on here? And I believe if you in the chapter does a pretty good job, and also the Khan Academy videos explain this very well, so you should have no problem there. But C, D, and E, so what measure of cost is represented? Okay, so you should get that fairly easy also. So you should know what curves 2 and 3 are in terms of what cost that they're measuring from the book, so I don't need to tell you that. Part D, explain why the vertical distance between curve 2 and curve 3 right here. Explain why the vertical distance between curve 2 and curve 3 decreases as output increases. Okay, so let's look at that. So what they don't show you here on this curve is what I'm going to show you here, and that's the averaged fixed cost curve, which I've got right down here. Now, I'm going to let you find what these other curves are in the book, but I did want to sort of help you out here. Now, if you think about average fixed cost, the average is going to drop as time goes on, because say that the fixed cost when the firm first begins producing is, I don't know, let's just say it's $1 million to get everything started. Well, that's going to be the first year that $1 million is going to just be averaged over a year. But as the firm produces over time, that same fixed, because it's fixed, that same fixed cost is going to be averaged out over a longer time period. So it's gradually, the average fixed cost is going to gradually go down. So if you think about that, I'm going to give you a hint here. If you think about the difference between this curve right here, the green curve, and the blue curve, and if you think about why does the distance here gradually get smaller between these two curves, that should tell you that the difference between the green and the blue is represented by the average fixed cost. So as the average fixed cost goes down, the distance between the green curve and the blue curve gets smaller. And I will let you figure out the rest of that on your own. But there is one other thing that I don't think they actually tell you in the book. If they do, I couldn't find it. But this black curve right here, which you should know what it is, especially if you think about what these points right here represent in terms of should the firm shut down or should the firm stay open. But anyway, you should know what this curve right here is from your chapter, but it also can be labeled the short run supply curve for the firm. So this black curve is also the short run supply curve, and I believe it asks you that. Let's see, we're measuring. Yeah, it's actually asking you to identify 2 points on the firm's short run supply curve. So you need to know that that's what this is. And if you think about it, if you understand what this curve is and how this curve works, and then think about how we calculate a producer surplus, then it makes sense that this curve would also be the firm's short run supply curve. Okay, that's pretty much it for problem 3. I think you'll be able to do this without much of a problem. So I guess just stay tuned for problem 4.